Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of NBA Sports Talk. And tonight, we're going to break down the top 10 NBA guards of today who can score and who can run the point and run a team all at the same time. So do me a favor, grab a pen, grab a pad. It's truly time to go to work. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to NBA Sports Talk. I'm your host, Walter Strong, where we talk NBA basketball and more from a fan's perspective. And so if you're just joining us this evening, we welcome you to the show. We're going to get into a great discussion tonight, breaking down today's top NBA guards, combo guards who can score, who can run the point, and be able to get a bucket at game time tonight here on NBA Sports Talk. So if you're joining me for the first time, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live. If you are a returning viewer, as always, give me that hashtag live. Let me know where you're watching me from, either on YouTube or LinkedIn. And so this evening, we want to say good evening to the number one Washington Wizards fan, Miss Florence Donald from Equip Institute, who's ready to be able to get into a great discussion. And if you're catching the replay of this episode of NBA Sports Talk, give me a favor, give me a hashtag Team Replay in the comments section and get your top 10 point guards, combo guards ready in the comments section. So let's get into the content and break down this discussion of combo guards, point guards, basically who can be able to run the point, but at the same time, they can score at a dime. And, and the reason why I felt it was important to do this episode, almost like a part two to the GOAT debate between Steph Curry and Magic Johnson. A lot of people feel that Magic Johnson, as a 6.9 point guard, is a true typical point guard who ran the point. Now, he also could score because he won 3 MVPs. He didn't win those MVPs just by assist alone, but he also could score. He also could play multiple positions. But when people kind of refer to Steph Curry, they tend to refer to him not being a true point guard by definition because he can move without the ball. He's constantly knocking down three-pointers. He has a great mid-range and an array of arsenals. And so I thought it was important to just let's find out, rank them from 1 to 10, the top 10 NBA combo guards that are in the league today. So let's start with number 10. Number 10, Mr. Bradley Beal, who just recently was just traded from the Washington Wizards, who played 11 seasons with them and now is with the Phoenix Suns, who are going to be starting his 12th season in the Valley of the Sun. But when he was with the Wizards, he was a 3-time All-Star. He had basically a career scoring average up to this point of 22.1 as a career scoring average, 4.1 rebounds, 4.3 assists. And this gentleman here, though he didn't see a lot of playoff experience, he definitely kept the Washington Wizards interesting. He kept them interesting. He became the man that Washington looked to because they gave him a max contract, even went so far and gave him a no-trade clause in that max contract. So he was able to kind of dictate when he was ready to leave Washington to say, I want to go to Phoenix, but when you send me to Phoenix, I don't want the whole team to be gutted by you trading everybody just for me. And so he was able to get on, Phoenix with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and a host of others there now he's there. But when he was with the Wizards, he definitely could run the point. But for the most part, he was being relied on his scoring. And he played with other individuals like John Wall, who has since moved on. He's played with others like Russell Westbrook, who since moved on, and he was playing with Kyle Kuzma before he got traded. Now Kyle Kuzma is there, and ultimately Chris Paul got traded for Bradley Beal. Chris Paul got traded for Jordan Poole. Now Jordan Poole is in Washington, and so Washington has also moved on from Kristaps Porzingis and sent him to Boston, and they're turning the page as a new young team, a new exciting team. But now Bradley is in the Valley of the Sun with the Phoenix Suns. And so he was definitely my number 10 as a combo guard because he really hasn't had an opportunity when the games really mattered to be able to show all that he has in his arsenal. And so that's the reason why I had him at number 10. Number nine, Mr. James Harden. Mr. James Harden, who's currently with the Philadelphia 76ers for 14 seasons and still current playing, over 10 times, a 10-time All-Star. He's been an MVP. He's been a 6th Man of the Year. He's been a 3-time scoring leader, a 2-time assist leader. So not only can he be able to score, having the scoring leading as 3 times, but he's been also to be able to run the point as an assist leader. And so he's definitely at a career scoring average of 24.7, assists at 7 assists as a career average at this point. And so James Harden definitely fits that combo guard. Today's NBA and what teams are looking for. They're not only looking for a point guard who can be able to facilitate and move the ball and run the offense, but definitely he's the type of player that teams look for, in particular Philadelphia. They're looking for him to be that number 2 man who he can be able to score if Joel Embiid or Tobias Harris or Therese Maxey is not getting it on. But here's the problem where he's at right now at number 9. He went from the Oklahoma City Thunder and went over to the Houston Rockets, where he won his MVP and accomplished a lot of his scoring titles and assist titles. He ended up winning his MVP. The hump in beating Golden State, he pushed his way out of Houston to go to Brooklyn because he said, okay, I want to go to Brooklyn. I want to be with Kevin Durant. I want to be with Kyrie Irving. And then, of course, the pandemic happened and the team came back, and Kyrie said he wasn't going to get vaccinated. You know the story. And then Brooklyn started having all these internal issues. And so he pushed his way out of Brooklyn. And now he's with Joel Embiid. And now he's only played, 1 to 2 years? Hit free agency, didn't the free agent contract that he was looking for. He opted into his contract. What he is saying that he was going to end up get a deal made and possibly be traded, and now he's unhappy in Philadelphia. And that's the reason why I have him at number 9. And all that he has accomplished during the regular season, from an MVP, I think he had almost 31 points that season. He had close to over 10 assists that season, that MVP season. His scoring titles, his assist titles, and all what he's accomplished, it's always been the regular season. When it's come to the playoffs, when he was with Houston and Brooklyn, he's never been able to take a team deep into the playoffs or even to the NBA Finals. And that's the reason why I have him at number 9. As good as he is as a point guard and as a scoring guard, a combo guard, I can't put him higher than that. I can't put him higher than that. And so that's the reason why I have him at number 9. Let's keep going. Luka Doncic. I have him at number 8 with the Dallas Mavericks. He's only been around for 5 seasons, but he's won Rookie of the Year in 2018, 2019. He's been to at least 4 All-Stars out of his 5 seasons. But see, some people will say, wow, you have Luka at number 8 and you don't have him in the top 5. When you look at him in terms of his career scoring average of 25.5, 8 assists as a career right now average, You hear a lot of comparisons of Luka being compared to a Jason Kidd. You hear a lot of comparisons of him being compared to a Magic Johnson. But when you look at Magic's stats or Jason Kidd's stats, they were your more prototypical point guards. Magic could still score, but Jason, on the other hand, was more of a facilitator and who ran the point. Luka is still developing. He can definitely put the ball in the basket, but in terms of running an offense, in terms of running a team for 4 quarters, and being able to manage the game, but most importantly, manage his emotions, because we all saw what happened in the World Cup. Because when teams play physical with him, he unfortunately gets into his feelings. And when you get him in his feelings, you get him out of his game. So I'm not ready yet to anoint him as the next Magic Johnson. I'm not ready to anoint him as the next Jason Kidd. I'm not ready to anoint him as the next top premier assist scoring guard. He still has work to do. He has a lot of potential just in these 5 seasons that he's played and what he's shown. And when I talk about potential, I'm not talking about potential in terms of what he's already done. I'm talking potential what he has yet to be able to produce. But I'm not ready to throw him up in the top 5 point scoring guards in today's NBA. Now, I'm not ready to do it. I would love to hear you on Team Live, your thoughts about Luka and what he's accomplished so far and what you think he can do in this next upcoming season. So definitely put that in the chat. And if you're watching the replay on LinkedIn or YouTube on NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strom III, let me know your thoughts. And while you're doing that, make sure you click the thumbs up button for me. Hit that share button. Share this on your favorite social media platform. Let's continue. Number 6, Trae Young from the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this is the guy draft night that Luka was traded for. Luka initially was drafted by the Hawks. Trae was drafted by the Dallas Mavericks. They swapped point guards both 5 seasons. Luka, in terms of they're kind of even in terms of career scoring average, is 25.5. Luka's been to about 3 more All-Stars than Trae has. But here's the difference. Even though Luka's about 8 assists, Trae's about 9 assists as of right now. Trae has tasted success in the playoffs. Trae has gotten as far to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's gotten as far as that. So he's tasted some success. And that's the reason why I could easily put him over Luka. Now, him just like Luka, there's more work to be done. Trae still has more potential that's untapped. And he hasn't been able to truly show the arsenal of his game. With this recent coaching changes from Nate McMillan to Quinn Snyder, hopefully they stabilize that. And then Atlanta team management puts a competitive playoff winning team around Trae. I think the best is yet to come with them. But just like Luka, Trae has more work to do as well, though he's accomplished more in the postseason than Luka. Luka's been in the postseason, but when it's mattered most to shine on the big stage, we saw what he did to the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Reggie Miller 2.0 and Trae Young. We saw what he did. But there's more to come with Trae Young, and that's why we have him at number 7. Hey, if you're just joining me, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live in the chat of whether YouTube or LinkedIn. We're talking about the top 10 NBA combo guards, point and shooting guard. They can run the point, but when you need them to get a bucket, when you need them to score, when you need the offense to go through them, we're talking about today's top 10 NBA point guards who can also get you a bucket and more. All right, number 6 from the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, another gentleman, again, who has not only performed in the offseason, but who's also performed in the playoffs and also contributed in getting his team to the NBA Finals. He's helped to get his team to the NBA Finals with DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul and who else am I forgetting? Who else am I forgetting that Phoenix team that ended up getting under Monty Williams? But Devin Booker was the main man who the offense was going to, with a career scoring average of 23.9 at this point. He's been around just for 8 seasons, only 3-time All-Stars, but you've seen a lot of his work in the postseason. And that's why I felt comfortable in taking him over Luka, taking him and bumping him over Trae, because you see when it matters most in the playoffs where these guards really bring it home. Devin is definitely, and now just having this last year with Kevin Durant, now you add number 10, Bradley Beal. So you got Bradley Beal, you got Devin Booker. Phoenix is going to be interesting. They are going to be interesting. Are they going to be my number 1 seed pick for the Western Conference? Don't know yet. Denver is the reigning and defending champions. You still had the Golden State Warriors. You still have the Los Angeles Lakers, but they are definitely in my top 4 of the Western Conference. I could definitely see Phoenix being in the top 4, but when having Devin Booker being able to get it done when it mattered, or to run the point when it matters, to set up a play, and you got Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant, you got Bradley Beal, DeAndre Ayton, and if he would just commit, just playing back to the basket, grabbing rebounds, identifying a role. I know he was a number 1 pick. DeAndre Ayton was a number 1 pick at one time. He was a number 1 pick. But the team, the objectives, and the goals have changed. And you would hope that this young man would see the bigger picture that he has before him versus trying to be a number 1 option on another team. Being able to accept the role and being able to say, I'm going to be the one who's going to guard the paint. I'm going to grab those rebounds, offensive and defensive, second chance shots, block shots, being willing to do the dirty work. If he accepts that role, Phoenix is going to give Denver some fits. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, let's move on to number 5. Moving right along in these NBA combo guards, Jamal Murray just recently won an NBA championship with Nikola Jokic, the Joker, and Aaron Gordon. He just won him, an NBA championship, so he's an NBA champion. He has 6 seasons in an All-Star, 6 seasons in the NBA. I think that's an era there. I think he's only made it like to only maybe, as a matter of fact, I thought I checked my notes. He hasn't even been selected to an All-Star yet. So that's an era there. He hasn't been selected to an All-Star, but he, has a career scoring average of 16.9. And so we're starting to see the Jamal Murray, the one that was in the bubble in 2020, who ended up injuring himself. And he's starting to show that he's come back from those injuries. And when you have a devastating knee injury like he did, it takes about 1 to 2 years for a player like that to come back into form. And he's truly did. And I hate this term about, a player is a Robin to another player's Batman. No. You for your DC history fans who are in the DC, guess what? Batman needed Superman. There are comics out with Superman and Batman together, working together. Clark Kent, the reporter, Superman, and Batman, the ultimate detective, Bruce Wayne, billionaire philanthropist Bruce Wayne. They both work together. And so guess what? You can have a Nikola Jokic who can be your Superman, and the Jamal Murray that's your Batman. So this this phrase of, oh, someone's got to be a Robin to someone else's Batman. Robin was just important to Batman as Batman was to Robin. So, you know, just wanted to throw that out there. But Jamal Murray, winning an NBA championship, and he's shown consistently before the injuries and even after the injuries that when it matters most in the playoffs, as a point guard and as a scoring guard, oh, this brother can do work. He can do work, and he did work in the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. He did work against the Los Angeles Lakers. He did work against the Phoenix Suns, and he's been consistent and has shown that this is the Jamal Murray before the injury that he had. And we've seen him score 50 points. We've seen him score 50 points in a game. This brother can run the point. He can run an offense. He can get a team in their sets. But give him the ball. Give him the ball and let him go to work. He'll go to work like Kumo D. He'll go to work. Let's move on. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this episode of NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strong III, we're breaking down the top 10 NBA combo guards who can run a point and also can fill up the bucket and score in bunches. So do me a favor, click that like button, hit that share button, share this on your favorite social media platform, and subscribe to the new NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strong III. Click that alert notification button and join the conversation either in the live chat or in the comments as you're watching the replay, either on LinkedIn or YouTube. Let's keep going. Number four, Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, who's right now with the Portland Trail Blazers. This man has consistently came to play for Portland. And as we know, he just recently in the summertime let Portland know that he wants a trade. He wants to be traded to a contending team. He let Portland know that he has an interest in wanting to play with the Miami Heat. And so right now all is quiet on a trade request front, and we're now September 10th. We're about 18 days away from NBA 2023-2024 Media Day. And so I don't have any doubt that he's going to not show up. He's going to show up in Portland on Media Day. And I believe he's going to go ahead and do what he needs to do in Portland. I don't think he's going to cut corners and run a game like James Harden did in Houston and possibly going to do in Philly. I think Damian's going to show up, but he's put his cards on the table. He's let Portland know that he's looking to move on since they've also drafted a young point guard, and he's looking to now go to a competing team. But for his 11 seasons, he's had 7 All-Stars. He was a Rookie of the Year in 2012 and 13 season. He has a career scoring average of 25.2 points. He's had an opportunity to go to the Western Conference Finals. He's played deep into the playoffs, but unfortunately, like teams like the Warriors, like the Rockets, like the Lakers, they have stood in Damian Lillard's way. And that's the reason why you haven't seen him to be able to crack and get into the NBA Finals. But as a point guard, he can definitely run the offense. As a point guard, he can definitely not only run the offense, but he can run plays and get the team up and down the court that he needs to them, But at the same time, this brother can score. He can score. And it's sad that Portland and all of what the potential and the different players that have come down their pipe, not to be able to get things to work for them as a team and as a city. It's kind of disappointing, just like when they had Brandon Roy. Man, Brandon Roy was the total package. He was the total package, but because of knee injuries, it cut his career short. And now Damian has had some injuries, but he's been able to move forward. And now to see he's willing to point ways from Portland to now going to a new team. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Got to stay tuned. Let's move on to number 3. I had to give number 3 to Russell Westbrook. You say, what, Walter? You gave Russell Westbrook number 3. Did you not see his season with the Los Angeles Lakers and how a debacle it was? I did. Did you see with him being traded from the Lakers to ultimately having to play a reserve with the Clippers? I did. But guess what? Those were just 2 seasons. 2 seasons that Russell Westbrook ended up having out of his 15 seasons. He's a 9-time All-Star. He's won the MVP. And when he won the MVP, he won the MVP with a scoring average of over 30 points in a season, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He did a triple-double for his MVP season since Oscar Robertson. And he's did it on more than one occasion. So this man is a triple-double machine. He can score, he can rebound, and he can give assists if the offense is set accordingly to be able to get out the best version of him. You know, he's a 3-time scoring, a 2-time scoring leader, a 3-time assist leader. Unfortunately, the teams that he's recently been on, from the Wizards to the Lakers, it seems now that the Clippers seems to be a great fit for him. But just because he had those 2 bad seasons, you can't discount the other 13. He's been to the NBA Finals early in his career with Kevin Durant and James Harden, which they lost to LeBron James and the Miami Heat. Okay, he's had his chances on being on some NBA championship teams. He's been an important piece. He's just had unfortunately 2 seasons that were not as favorable to him. And, you know, I'm quite sure it was disappointing to finally play in your hometown of Los Angeles and you end up getting an opportunity to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, an NBA player's dream, living in their hometown, thinking, okay, hey, look, I'm going to make some history with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, going to make some history that's just going to be just as significant as Kobe and Shaq did, or as Magic and Kareem did. And to see the way it turned out, yeah, that can be very disappointing. I can see how it affected him mentally and affected his performance and his shooting. But just because he had 2 bad seasons doesn't mean he can't turn the page and continue to produce at the level that he has. And that's why I have him at number 3. Hey, now, if you feel otherwise, let me know. Break your top 10 point guard combo guards, either in the live chat or LinkedIn, in the live chat or YouTube, or if you're watching the replay, give me your top 10. Let's join the conversation in the live chat or in the comments section. Give me your top 10 combo guards. Let's move on. Mr. Kyrie Irving. Mr. Kyrie Irving for 12 seasons. 12 seasons. Man, this man is box office. He is box office. I mean, the man has been so box office. He is a movie, Uncle Drew. How many point guards that I've named up to this point have a movie showcasing their talents in the movie with Shaq and Chris Webber and Reggie Miller and Lisa Leslie. Pretty entertaining movie. And he's been fortunate enough to win an NBA title. And when his time with Cleveland, he ended up going to like 3 NBA finals. He went to 3 NBA finals. So this guy is the real stuff. You know, rookie of the year in 2011 and 12. He's did some work. He has a career scoring average of 23.4, 5.7 assists. The problem for Kyrie, however, has been off the court. We would probably have to just take and do another episode on the Brooklyn days of why Kyrie end up having such a very disappointing stint with Brooklyn and not producing and helping Brooklyn to win a championship. His disappointment in Boston. Now he's with Dallas. He ended up during free agency, came back to Dallas because the Lakers couldn't match what he was looking for. So he came back. So now he's with Luka, who I had as at number 8 on the list. And you have some others there in Dallas. And I believe Kyrie, though I don't think Kyrie and Luka are going to be able to crack that top 4, they can definitely make a run at top 5. When you look at the division they're in, you got Memphis, you got John Morant, you got New Orleans, Zion Williamson, you got the Houston Rockets. I think Houston is definitely going to make some noise, probably with Ime Udoka and Fred VanVleet, probably not this season, but next season. And then the San Antonio Spurs would win Victor Wembanyama. I could see Dallas winning that division and possibly end up getting the 5th seed, even challenging for the 4th seed. But getting past that second round of Golden State, if they're there, or the Lakers or the Nuggets, I don't see it. But Kyrie is he's special. Kyrie Irving is special. He's box office. And that's why I had him as number 2. I had him number 2. And so that at that point right there are 9 of the best NBA combo guards who definitely can run an offense and who definitely can score. And if you're enjoying this episode of NBA Sports Talk, click that thumbs up button, hit that share button, and subscribe to the NBA Sports Talk with Walter Strong III YouTube channel. Which brings us to number 1. Drum roll, please. Mr. Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors, who's been there now for 14 seasons. He's played had 9 All-Star selections. He is a 4-time NBA champion. He's appeared in 6 NBA finals. He's only lost 2 of the 6. He just recently won a finals MVP 2 years ago. He's a 2-time MVP regular season. He is the only unanimous MVP voted of who's won the award. And if you didn't check out our episode of who is the greatest point guard of all time between Stephen Curry and Irving Magic Johnson, when you get done with this episode, make sure you check out that episode to get more breakdown between who's the greatest between Steph and Magic. Steph is a 2-time scoring leader, 24.6 points career scoring average, 6.5 assists, 4.7 rebounds. And no, he is not the Isaiah Thomas or the John Stockton or Kevin Johnson point guard of yesterday. But Steph Curry has changed the NBA game that we know it to be today. He is truly, in my opinion, the best combo point shooting guard in today's league. He definitely puts defenders on notice when he hits the court. They have to grab their lunch pail. And so that's the reason why we have him at number 1. Check out that episode with him and Magic with the GOAT debate. So let's do summary right quick. We had number 10, Bradley Beal. Number 9, James Harden. Number 8, Luka Doncic. Number 7, Trae Young. Number 6, Devin Booker. Number 5, Jamal Murray. Number 4, Damian Lillard. Number 3, Russell Westbrook. Number 2, Kyrie Irving, Uncle Drew, a.k.a. number 1, Steph Curry, the greatest shooter in the game today, and in my opinion, the greatest shooter who has played in the NBA in the last 4 decades. He is the greatest shooter, greater than Reggie Miller, greater than Ray Allen, greater than Dale Ellis, greater than Eddie Johnson, greater than his own father, better than his own father, Dale Curry, Steph Curry. He is our number one combo guard who can do work at the point and who can definitely do work in shooting. Now you may say, "Hey, well, Watson, doesn't Golden State depend more with Draymond Green running the offense as the point forward?" Yes, yes. You can look at that system and how Steve Kerr has that offense. But as a point guard, just as a pure point guard, he gives defenders fits in terms of how the offense is run through him and how he sets the offense and runs the offense along with Draymond Green. So, question of the day. If you're watching me at Team Live in the chat of LinkedIn or YouTube, or watching the replay up to this point, which I truly appreciate you watching the replay up to this point, let me know either in the chat or the comments section your top 10 point guard combo guards of today, the 10 best that you have. Let me know in the chat or comment section. And let's have a conversation in the chat or the comments about today's point guard. Special mention. One particular special mention that I had to give some consideration was Stevie Francis, who played with the Houston Rockets back in the day. You could see how the NBA and teams were slowly moving towards in this direction of point guards who could run the point, but at the same time could score. So this is nothing new in the last 2-3 years. You can go back as far as Steve Francis. There were teams that were doing this with their point guards, but they wasn't as evident as it is today. But he's my special mention. And so I would love to know, those of you who are joining here and watching NBA Sports Talk with Walter Storm III, your thoughts in the chat, but most importantly in the comment section on Team Replay. And so as we bring this episode to a close, I hope you have truly enjoyed this episode of NBA Sports Talk. I'm breaking down the top 10 NBA point guards who can score and run an offense as a point. And when this episode is over, check out our recent episode of Who is the Greatest Point Guard between Steph Curry and Magic Johnson, the GOAT debate. So we're going to bring this train to the station. I want to thank everyone who's been watching us on live, and those of you who will watch the replay. Again, click that thumbs up button, give us a like, share this on your favorite social media platform, subscribe to the new NBA Sports Talk with Walter Storm III, and we will see you in the next episode to come on Thursday. God bless.